You haven't lived until you've heard the show Americans are talking about. The show that launches its listeners to the height of humanity. The audio hour that travels the landscape of adventure. The sound that comforts more than the clip of your first bolt. It's the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show!
Outdoor Adventure summits the airwaves. This is the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show. I'm your host, Brandon Long. I'm Belay for the next about 40 minutes. Across from me here in Banyan 1, the best podcasting trailer in all the land is the best co-host in all the land, Todd to the top. How are you, Todd?
I'm good. That's a lot of best ofs.
Best ofs. They're official. We have placards. You can come see them. Yeah. Oh, it looks like the back end of your mic stick is hitting the countertop over there.
As it does in the trailer.
As it does in the best trailer.
Okay, much better. That's good.
This week we do have a Weekly Happy featuring Glenn Plake, a trip report that's not a trip report. It's a trip idea on a place to go, which I think sounds really cool. We'll give you some on the docket. Yes, there are some events coming up in the news, including Nordic expansion, Mountain Town tourism uptick, Save the Gators, the Pulse Oximeter, which I think we're going to name the show that. The last open ski resort closes for the year, paid to detox, and get your backcountry ski gear here. Get your backcountry ski gear here. We'll give you something worth reading, some gear from Yeezy, and also a new home for low Alpine. Quote of the week, outdoor jukebox, all this and more on the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show episode 359, the Pulse Oximeter. So let's charge.
He summits with the agility of a mountain goat, flashes routes faster than UPS, is more intimate in the mountains than Jake Gyllenhaal. He's Todd to the top.
Oh, got it twice.
That's a bonus.
It's a bonus.
That was free, people. We threw that in just for free.
Do you know what a pulse oximeter is?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I want to come up with something clever, but I'm not sure what that is.
We'll go over it later then, I guess.
Pulse oximeter.
A pulse oximeter. All right, this week's Weekly Happy, always starting off with something fun. Little Glenn Plake skiing. Okay, but let's start this over. They ask him a question.
It'd be a cliche to say wherever the heck I happen to be skiing at the time, but it is. But no, if I probably had my choice, I'd either probably take a day in Chamonix or a big powder bump day in California. One of the two.
Nice. Want to do some tricks for us?
Sure.
Yeah, little Glenn Plake. Where would you ski? Little Chamonix or powder days in California, which is interesting. He didn't say powder days in Utah. And then the ski ballet moves he does in this New Hampshire mountain are classic and modern because it's Glenn Plake in the now, but he's doing like cool old school ski ballet moves, and it's pretty fun little video. I found this on Unofficial Networks.
And this is
Soundtrack
a new video?
Isn't bad either. No, this is filmed probably last season some point, but they pulled it up because in the old industry here, and everyone's talking about it, we have moved on, meaning retailers and probably the media side of things. Summer can suck it. We're talking ski. We've got skiing on the mind. Everybody, I mean, skis have shipped to Gear 30 last week. So yes, we're changing the mindset to the winter sports.
There you go.
All right.
So he's still out doing it.
Dude, he's still out doing it.
How old is he?
107 official.
He's not bad at all.
Yeah, no, he's is he in his 50s, 60s?
He's got to be at least, I would say, early 60s.
We got the nice poster in here.
Yeah. We've seen him a few
But he looks great, and he's got so much energy, and stay young, ski often.
Still has good hair.
He does have.
You know who turned 90 yesterday?
Tremendous hair.
Oh, I should have worded this differently.
I think, okay, but I do know.
Did you read it?
007.
Yeah, Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Yeah.
How is this? How are these people getting older?
And he looks damn good for 90. I don't know if you saw the picture yesterday. I think that somebody posted one.
Yeah, I don't know how new those pictures were because he's just kind of been in hiding, but he still looks pretty good for 90.
Kind of looked like he was 90, but looked good for 90.
Yeah, probably
also,
better than I look for 90.
All the 007. What I liked was all the 007 actors telling him happy birthday and posting.
Nice. I missed that. I didn't see that.
Oh, it was kind of
that's
fun.
Great.
Reaching out on which is funny because he's 90 and these people are posting on Twitter and Instagram. But I'm sure his people have showed him. Yeah, and they said things like to the best 007, and it was all the actors who have played 007 since Sean Connery.
He's a great James Bond. Yeah, 90.
Yeah. Okay, so trip report or trip suggestion. I don't know where I saw this, but I saw it on. It was all the social media places you visit, and I'm like, that's a national park. That's the coolest thing ever, and that's a national park that probably not a lot of people go to. I would love to go to this national park. And then I saw a news article on the. I go to nps.gov to check some news, and it said the Dry Tortugas National Park reopens following Tropical Storm Laura. I'm like, that's the national park that I just discovered earlier in the week from some social media site. I'm like, it's a sign. I got to go to Dry Tortugas. Not only that, but I'm a fan of pirates and rum. So Dry Tortuga National Park. So have you heard of it? Do you know what it is?
Tortuga sounds familiar, but that's about it.
Tortuga, yeah. Dry Tortuga. Explore a 19th century fort and snorkel crystal clear water with incredible marine life. Almost 70 miles west of Key West lies the remote Dry Tortugas National Park. This 100-mile square park is mostly open water with 7 small islands accessible only by boat or seaplane. The park is known the world over, I didn't know, known the world over as the home of the magnificent Fort Jefferson, which here I'll show you a picture, and all you listening on the podcast will just
that's magnificent. That is pretty cool.
But it is cool, right? Yeah. Like it's just the old school fort on the water. Fort Jefferson, picturesque blue waters, superlative coral reefs, and marine life. The vast assortment of bird life that frequents the area. You have to take a boat there. Like you can't, or your own little plane that lands on water. Yeah, there's no other way to get there besides a boat, on the water. And you can camp there. You can bring a tent. You can hang out. There's camping at Dry Tortugas. Bring your snorkel gear or diving gear if you're into, so there's not a ton of stuff to do there. It's just this random, very small set of islands out west of Key West, Florida. Dry Tortuga National. And I'd like to go. I'd like to go and just check it out because I bet not a lot of people have visited Dry Tortuga.
What's the dry part?
Yeah, I don't know because it's completely full of water. Surrounding. Yeah. Maybe the island itself is dry. Dry Tortugas National Park.
Maybe his first name was Dry.
Maybe he was
last name Tortuga.
Never dry because he was always drunk on the rum.
So it's like an ironic name.
Ironic.
I think now we're just showing off our knowledge. Yeah.
Oh, wait. This is funny. With less than 1% of Dry Tortugas National Park being dry ground, the best way to see this is by swimming.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
That sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, there you go. There's a little suggestion for you. Dry Tortugas National Park. On the docket.
Maybe not right now. Hurricanes and all, but
dude, yeah. So
or double hurricanes. I think.
Double hurricane because 2020. But I think the one was I know the one was downgraded, but the other was upgraded. They're looking at Cat Force. I was watching the weather news this morning, and they're trying to use the strongest terms available to say get the hell out of Dodge without saying get the hell out of Dodge. Like on TV, but they're like, we strongly advise you to leave. You will not survive, essentially, is what they're saying. Like, leave the area now and take your belongings with you. And the storm, it's like, they said it was going to come 30 miles. The ocean was going to come 30 miles on shore. That is very far.
Plus, those are the moments, too, where you can't help but think, if you think you can set it out, you know, for personal reasons, what'll happen is, you know, what if, you know, somebody has to go rescue them and then something happens, because then you're putting their life in jeopardy.
Well, and what happens from the news reports that I've seen in the past, because I haven't lived through any of this. Now, I was in Florida on the outskirts of the tropical storm that came earlier this summer, and I'm like, holy crap, and we were like on the way, way, way far outskirts, and the rain that came down was incredible. Like, they're like, oh, it hasn't rained like this since we've been here. I'm like, look how far away we are from this tropical storm, and that was only a tropical storm.
Wow.
So it rains really hard, and that's the thing, is it looks like, oh, I survived the hurricane, it's passed, but now everything's flooded, no one's around, nobody can get to you, there's no food, there's no help, like, you're screwed. You're, you know, like, cool, you survived, now what? Now you're gonna die because no one can get to you. Like,
Yeah, how much food you got stored
like,
up?
yeah, like,
And did
on
that
the roof
area
of your
flood?
house, because that's where you're at. Like,
Rooftop
oh, gosh.
patios. You need a lot more of those.
a lot of roof. That's a thing down there. Okay, so around here, around O-Town on the docket, Pizza and Pints still going on. August 30 or August 27th would be the last one, I think. Trail trials up at Powder Mountain. Those might be over, actually. Tomorrow might be the last one. Yoga in the Mountains at Snowbasin, that's still a thing. Saturdays at 9 a.m. Upcoming, though, this Saturday, I'll be emceeing the finish line of the Eden Epic Mountain Bike Race. 45 miles of hell on your mountain bike.
Is that in Eden this year?
It's yep. It's the Eden
Excellent.
Epic.
Excellent.
Good call. Eden Epic.
Those are just, it's proof that I'm listening.
Yeah.
I just try to interject a few words every now and again, just so you remind
Maybe
me
it
that
was
I'm here. Yeah.
invented by somebody named Eden.
I think, or
And
that.
she takes the race
I love that even better.
all around different places.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a genuine question.
Yeah. And this year it's actually in Eden, just like last year. 45 miles of hell. Up around Willard, Ben Lomond, Lewis, and then down into the Eden finish line. On September 5th, the Discrete Cirque Series at Brighton, and September 26th, Discrete Cirque Series at Alta. November, is that a Stanley?
What do you, Discrete? No, it's not Stanley, but
What do you got there?
it's that other one. Hydro. Which I love
those,
this.
Those are great
actually.
too. So we are bringing.
I like the Big Mouth. I'm a big Mouth fan.
That's. I haven't heard that, but now I know.
Well, for bottles, I do. That's why I like
Yeah.
those old school Nalgene's. Like they're still kind of my.
Oh, we had a
favorites,
phone
too.
call the other day into the shop. They said, "Do you have the Nalgene's with the smallmouth?" I'm like,
You see them, yeah, not for me. I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of smallmouth or straws.
you can't put the
like
ice
straws.
cubes in there.
I like this. I like the handle.
Yeah.
Plus, it's got some good dents in it, so it'll take some abuse.
Those
These
of
are
you
nice.
familiar with Gear 30 may know that we don't carry Stanley products, Stanley PMI products, until this fall. We'll get some in this fall. So we're stoked to announce that we'll finally be carrying Stanley PMI, which is my favorite brand
It's a great brand.
of,
yeah.
of drinkables. And I got the lunchbox out
Yep.
there on the picnic table, and
Yep.
fun, cool brand. Which
I've got
makes good
canteens.
stuff.
I've got
We have shot
go-tos.
glasses
Yeah.
that we use.
Yep. Pint glasses.
Well, we used pre-COVID. I know
Lots.
you've been pretty good during COVID at staying clear of falling into the just be drunk every day during COVID routine. So that's good.
Yes. Yes. I went the opposite route.
Yeah.
I did.
Dry Tortuga. That's what.
All dry.
I'll dry. November 15th, the Antelope Island Fall Classic 50K. I like Ultra sign up. They've got this like cancel. It says canceled, false. So like if you're like, oh, is that race still going on? Like it's not yes or no. It's either canceled, true or false. And so it says false under Antelope Island Fall Classic, meaning it's still going on. You could still register for it. That's the fun one out there on Antelope Island. I've done it a couple times. I'd love to do it again this season, but I don't know if I'll be in quite good enough shape. But November 15th, you got a little bit of time to train for that one. In late fall, right before winter, it's usually the last good trail run of the season. So keep that one on the docket. All right, local news includes one of my favorite little resorts around town, and that is Nordic. Grew up at Nordic, skiing there many times, and they are expanding, and I know it's got to happen, but I just love Nordic as it is. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, can you just don't change, just keep everything. I'm a non-changer. I don't like change sometimes, but they are changing. Ski Utah website says, in a historic announcement today, this was on August 20th, Nordic Valley Ski Resort unveiled a major capital improvement project that will bring the Ogden area resort its first high-speed chairlift and the largest expansion project in recent history, and both are slated to open during the upcoming winter. Earlier this summer, Nordic Valley began construction on the resort's first high-speed detachable chairlift. Every time I see the word detachable, and it's a sickness, I think. But there was a song in the 90s. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Detachable penis.
Detachable penis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who wrote that song?
Detachable
That.
penis.
That was a great song.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty catchy.
They played on the KJQs and the X96s.
That's hilarious that you brought that up because I haven't heard that forever.
Detachable chairlift, 6-person lift. According to resort officials, the new lift construction project, together with the Power Pass Resort, Arizona Snowball's high-speed chairlift gondola combination lift, make up one of the largest lift installation projects in North America in advance of the upcoming 2021 winter season, which will be interesting season as is. And then the Standard Examiner also ran an article about the expansion with a quote from Brandon Fessler, Nordic Valley's general manager, who says this expansion is the largest in Nordic Valley's history. And when fully completed, it will ultimately more than triple our skiable acres. So it's going to be a much larger resort as soon as this first expansion here is complete. Weber County planners issued Nordic Valley a permit last March with several conditions allowing the expansion to proceed. Work started over the summer with new lift and skiing areas taking shape on the land already owned by Nordic Valley and its partner companies, just south of the resort's existing footprint. So if you're familiar with it, it'll be south of the footprint, which there's homes right down there too. So it must be above the homes in the Eden area. The controversial proposal, including the gondola, had a contemplated expansion onto U.S. forest land. Fessler said the current expansion phase calls for development of 50 of the 300 acres in the expansion area, increasing Nordic Valley skiable terrain from 140 acres to 190 acres. So that's the first expansion, sounds like. Anyway, there you go. Little Nordic. Growing up.
So, detachable penis. We have to keep this going.
Yes.
Now the curiosity's out there, right?
Yeah.
So that was done by a group called King Missile.
King Missile. Of course it was the group by King
I didn't
Missile.
get a date yet. Here, okay, this just gives you a little tease. I won't read all the lyrics, but this
Well,
is
I
good.
have tease it because I can play it too.
Yeah, we should. I think that's
Okay,
good. So, okay, so I woke up this morning with a bad hangover, and my penis was missing again. This happens all the time. It's detachable. And then you got to have the detachable penis.
Yeah. It's detachable, yeah.
That's the background singing.
It's the big lead up there. Yeah.
Okay, we got to at least test the beginning.
Yeah.
This song is catchy as AF.
I woke up this morning with a bad hangover. And my
This is like
penis
those
was
Speak
missing
songs.
again.
Yes.
I used to like
Happens
those.
all the
1992.
time. It's detachable. This comes in handy a lot of the time. I can leave it home when I think it's going to get me in trouble.
I love that line.
Rent it out when I don't need it.
I rent it out when I don't
Now
need
go
it.
to a party, get drunk, and the next morning I can't, for the life of me, remember.
He can't figure out where he put it. Yeah, where'd it go? I don't know.
My apartment, and
You
I
lost
couldn't
it.
find it.
It's the problems you would have with
The
them.
place where the party was,
I
they
love this.
hadn't seen it
This
either.
next line's good.
I asked them to check the medicine cabinet because for some reason I leave it there sometimes, but not this time. So I told them if it pops up to let me know.
He's mostly
I
just
call
reading
the
it.
Oh my gosh.
But
Yeah.
it's, what makes the song is that background, like,
I was starting
Yeah.
to get desperate.
Yeah.
I really don't like being without my
Oh,
penis
so
for
good.
too long.
I don't like being without it for too long. Oh, okay. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. In
You're
case you weren't
welcome.
familiar, you are now. Yeah. On that note, you want to talk tourism?
was that off script just a little?
Well, I didn't have it in the pre-notes. Yeah, just,
That's room.
I read the word
We always have
detachable.
room to breathe
we
in
do
this
have
show.
room to breathe. And that's what happens when, that's my mind working there. And whenever I read detachable and I just automatically
Since
flash back to that song.
1992, that word has been associated.
Yes. Yep.
That's funny.
Mountain towns see modest uptick in tourism. but the winter season is still in doubt. According to an article in the Park Record, occupancy rates across Western mountain resorts are significantly lower this summer, obviously, than in 2019, and an expected result of the COVID-19 pandemic. What do you think? There's a glimmer of hope for businesses that rely on travel and tourism, however, as rates in July showed improvement. And this news comes from the latest Destimetrics report by Intopia, which tracks lodging performance in resort towns, including Park City. For its Western Resort Town report, it includes data from locations in Colorado, Utah, Nevada, California, Idaho, and Wyoming. Tom Foley, great name, Intopia's Senior Vice President for Business Operations and Analytics, said the most crucial indicators of the mountain resort tourism industry health right now are booking rates and the ability to fill in vacancies. By those measures, he said, July turned out to be a, quote, excellent month, end quote, with the strongest booking number since February. Now, here's the kick. They're not booking in advance. No one's booking ski trips in advance yet. And so we were talking about this at the shop. It's like, yeah, nobody trusts what's going to happen this year. So if you're in the, if you're a hotel, restaurant, you're in the tourism industry, that's a little sketch. We are selling the ski gear, and we feel like everybody's going to stick and stay local for the most part. So we're trying to load up on ski gear that's actually mostly includes backcountry skiing, because if they determine that the mountain's not safe enough to open, or it's just a pain in the ass because there's, it's open, but they're limiting the people in such a way that it sucks. You know what I mean? Like, so we're going to have enough backcountry gear for everyone, hopefully this season, if you are interested in getting into that. But bookings were going up in July at some of these places. And so people are traveling, but they're not planning ahead yet. Keep that. Save the Gators. I love this article. Save the Gators. This is from the New York Times. I was devastated, by the way, because so the neck gaiters that come up over your nose, and then the report came out that was like, you can't wear those. They actually worse for me than not wearing a mask at all. Okay, Save the Gators. A small study prompted fears that neck gaiters could spread more virus droplets than they stop. But new research shows that those face coverings can protect just as well as other cloth masks. The reports of the demise of the neck gaiter, have been greatly exaggerated. The gaiter is a tube of fabric worn around the neck, often to keep skiers or runners warm in cold weather. But during the coronavirus pandemic, lightweight neck gaiters have been popular with runners, cyclists, and people with beards because they can be pulled up over to cover the nose and the mouth and used as a mask. Like, you don't have your beard, but as much as you used to. But that would have been a good solution. In recent days, there's been a backlash against the gaiter. It started after a small study from Duke University demonstrated that a new, inexpensive testing method for masks that uses lasers and phone cameras. In part of the study, the neck gaiter performed poorly when a person wearing the gaiter said the words, this is hilarious, quote, "Stay healthy, people," end quote.
Is it it's a people part?
People, because yeah, 5 times. They said that 5 times. During that test, the scientists observed a slight increase in the number of expelled saliva particles when one person wore the gaiter than when the wearer wore nothing at all. So how could that be? It doesn't make any sense. However, the technique they used was not reliable, a way to measure particles, and it was not statistically meaningful finding. Still, the study's authors hypothesized that wearing a neck gaiter might cause more small droplets to spew through the fabric, not fewer. A wave of alarmist reports on news sites and social media quickly followed. Quote, "Wearing a neck gaiter could be worse than wearing no mask at all," end quote, read the headline in the Washington Post. Even the study's authors said their data had been misconstrued. Quote, "Our intent was not to say this mask does not work or never use neck gaiters," end quote, said Martin Fisher, an associate research professor in the Department of Chemistry at Duke and the co-author of the study. This was not the main part of the paper. The suggestion that any mask can create more droplets than it stops doesn't sound plausible to aerosol scientists, or me, who is not an aerosol scientist. Like, how do you create more droplets from a mask that I'm like, okay, I don't understand. Who tests mask materials using special instruments that can measure microscopic particles, a number of variables such as the volume of the mask wearer's voice and whether the mask has become moist, yes, they went there, might explain why the Duke study showed unusual results during the single gaiter test. Anyway, it goes on. The article goes on and says that actually a neck gaiter So the CDC says in here that the CDC suggests in lieu of a mask, you can use like your cotton shirt, like pull your cotton shirt up over your nose and mouth, if you know, and that stops about 40%. And it says the neck gaiter, if doubled over a little bit, stops up to 90% of the saliva coming out of your mouth. So it's just as effective as just about every other mask situation out there. It might be slightly less effective in some tests or some micron droplets, but it's up. If that's what you got and that's what you like, don't be throwing it away, and don't let other people shame you about your neck gaiter mask. It shouldn't happen. Just point out the New York Times article.
Yeah, I think the masks are like socks too, to some degree. I mean,
you can only hold in so much stink.
Yeah, well, that wasn't exactly what I was thinking, but just the different kinds, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely, yeah.
You get some nicer ones. They're obviously going to do the trick a lot better than the ones that you get for 10 in a pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that one has.
But 10 in a pack's probably still better than.
It's got a funny saying on it, right? It says like, "Watch me meow" or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the technology that could make climbing Everest safer, because I've been waiting for this. I mean, I was going to do it, but I thought it probably needs to be a little bit safer.
Robo legs.
Yeah. So, all right. So this is it. The odds of dying on Everest are about 1 in 100, but a new Pulse Oximeter, or Oximeter, claims it can drastically reduce that risk. What is an oximeter? Oximeter. That sounds cool.
Oximeter.
Death and danger are, oh God, not this word. Inexorable facts of summiting Mount Everest. But a longtime guide thinks the new system can help prevent one of the most common issues here, and that is high altitude pulmonary edema, or HAPE. Lucas Furtenbach, who'd been running expeditions in the Himalayas since 2001 and founded Furtenbach Adventures in 2014, plans to implement a new Pulse Oximeter system on Everest during the 2021 season that he claims will make climbing the world's tallest peak as safe as flying. Okay, well, 1 in 5 million people die in a plane crash. So 1 in 100 versus 1 in 5 million that's a giant leap for mankind there, Mr. Furtenbach. Dr. Leo Montejo, an anesthesiologist and founder of the telemedicine companies Wysis, created a system to track climbers' health metrics on the move using iStream. Not stream like I'm streaming data or stream like the river. It's like stream like extreme, spelled extreme. So it's the iStream, an Android app, because if you have Apple, you will die. He developed that sends live data via satellite back to base camp. And it measures it through your pulse oximeter, and then it sends it back live data through your Android app, so you're screwed, iPhone users, and then through iStream it tells you what the oxygen levels are in your blood, which can be a giant way to tell you the percentage of blood, hemoglobin, and the oxygen attached to it. So are you at, say, in normal range? And if you are not, then they got to pull you off the mountain immediately and get you down. Huh. Now they use this technology in, which is, it's so funny that, where did I read? It's in this article where they used it, but this is not new technology. They've used it before in, like paragliders use it. Paragliders, other people that spend time at high altitude, and they use it in base camp actually. To like they measure people's oxygen levels at base camp to see how you're doing, but none of them would been able to come up with a way to stream the readouts from the wearer as they go up the mountain until now. And that's sort of the big deal there. So if you can tell, like, Todd to the top is oxygen levels have dropped below 60%, then
get him off the mountain.
Yeah.
So it can't help you if you fall off.
No, you're screwed. Yeah.
It's not going to do anything with that necessarily.
Yeah.
But it will find out if you're going to die a really, really painful, awful death as well.
Yes.
Well, every little thing, I guess.
Yeah. Are you down? Are you going to change your mind? Or are you?
It's not on my list.
Yeah, it's not on mine.
I wouldn't mind going to the base camp.
I would love to go to base camp.
And that's a feat itself.
And I sleep like crap at 10,000 feet, let alone what's base camp at?
Yeah.
15 or something? It's 20?
I think I'd be okay with at that, given time. But I don't know. I've never been that high.
Yeah.
I mean, not. A whole other episode.
Yeah. And then finally, the last open ski resort in North America has closed for the season. I didn't even know it was open. Didn't even know. The one remaining open ski resort in North America was
I have no idea.
Timberline Lodge up in Oregon. Closed. We closed for like a month.
And then it's just
like a
reopens
month
here pretty
And
soon.
then they opened October 20th last year. So
Wow.
like 2 months.
Wow, that's wild.
But I don't know why they didn't close during COVID. Everybody else freaking closed during COVID. And then this is a really, really weird promo. But if you want to get paid $1,000 to digitally detox in an RV, go for it. SatelliteInternet.com is giving away $1,000, and they're paying your food, and they're reimbursing you for your RV rental. Go to SatelliteInternet.com and apply. The shtick is, for 3 days, how the hell do they prove this? I have no idea. For 3 days, you can't have any of your cell phones or anything with you. You take your rented RV into the national park, into the wild, come back out, and they're going to provide a hotspot for you too. Okay, I don't understand. Anyway, so then as soon as you have service, then you can talk about your experience. That's all it says in here. Talk about your experience. That's the job. One random winner will get paid $1,000 to give up technology for a weekend and camp in an RV at a U.S. national park. If that's you, you'll rent an RV, parentheses, which will reimburse you for, in parentheses, and head to the national park campsite of your choice on the date you choose. Well, living in Ogden, this is perfect because you can be like, well, I can go to Yellowstone, I can go to Zion, I can go to the Arches, I can go to all these different places, right? Like,
Isn't that everyone who goes camping?
isn't that this is a really weird promo. I mean, I just did that last weekend and didn't get paid for it. What the hell?
Was this? I feel like this study was put together by somebody who's never been camping before.
Well, they are a satellite internet company. I don't know.
Is it just the concept of not having
They
your phone
want-
for 3 days that crazy?
Is this marketing? They'll pay you $400 up front and the $600 upon completion. You get reimbursed for your RV rental and your mobile hotspot and food, up to $1,000 reimbursement for food. The catch is, which this is not a catch, folks, people do this every weekend, is that you won't be able to capture Instagram-worthy shots on your phone. Can you take like a regular camera? Or tweet about how fresh the smell of pine is. No technology allowed beyond what you need to reach your destination safely. Until the third night.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck finding somebody for that. Maybe good luck finding somebody under like 20 years old or something. Maybe that's their. Maybe they're going after a younger group.
Yeah, I don't know. Paid to detox. Get your backcountry ski gear. Yep, get your backcountry ski gear. Backcountry ski gear is going to fly off the shelves this year, just so you know. There's going to be possible gear shortages, according to Snowbrains. So we sold our first ski yesterday.
Just one ski?
Well, it's like the one we had left. The one backcountry ski.
Was it a pair or was it a one?
It was.
A
One would be
single ski?
one would be unique. Yeah, it was a pair of skis. Sorry, but it was backcountry ski, and that's what the guy said was like. You know what? I'm nervous that everyone's gonna start buying the backcountry skis, and I'm not gonna get a ski. So I'm like, well, you're on it, dude. It's the first one of the season. So
I guess come winter, you're bundled up pretty well. You got stuff across your face.
Yeah. That's you're outside
And all the things.
Yeah, all the things. Yeah. Okay, moving on. I thought that was all the news I had. I have one worth reading. I don't have a worth listening or worth watching. I need to find another release of a upcoming ski film, but worth reading. How do athletes get sponsored these days? Good question. It's COVID. It's weird because it's like you have to be good at skiing or snowboarding, whatever you're good at. And then you have to have like a social media following, and then you have to have a personality, right? So there was recently an online snowboarding magazine that explored the sponsorship landscape from the benefits to downfalls of having an agent as a snowboarder. And they said the top 1%, and they make like $500,000 a year. It's only 1% of the snowboarders out there that make that. So
I would figure it'd be even less than that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and it's not easy. So anyway, it's an interesting article. It's up here at snowbrains.com. That is worth reading if you're looking to get sponsored this season, next season. Put it in the future anytime. Okay,
it's got to be so much more than just being a good skier these days. For any kind of those sponsored athletes, it's about the lifestyle, it's about the culture, the look, probably the social media presence, like how good are you, and are you sharing too much? Are you sharing not enough? Do you have interesting friends?
Are you interesting?
Oh, are you interested? Hopefully that'll be one of the first questions. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But back when it probably was more skiing ability. These days,
it was.
less
Can
so.
you huck a cliff? Sign here.
And nowadays it's probably like, okay, most people can do that, but now we need.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we interviewed a couple years ago up at Powder Mountain Daniel Fox, professional photographer. Now it's not that this guy is not a bad photographer. He's a damn good photographer. However, there's a lot of damn good photographers out there. So why is this guy, Daniel Fox, sponsored by Arc'teryx and Lexus and the camera Fujifilm, and like he's sponsored by all these big brands. I'm like, what he explained was he put in the time and effort to write the letters and ask for the sponsorships. Like they're not going to come find you.
Yeah, and there's so much more to what he does too.
There is,
because it's about
there
brand.
Yep.
Because he created that before the sponsorships.
Yeah.
Was the brand,
the feel and the brand, and then when he wrote the letters and was able to explain who he is and what he does, they were able to buy in and say, yes, we like what you do, who you are. We will sponsor you and give you money. And then you get one of those of note, like Fujifilm, and then he builds it up. And his latest one was Lexus. Like he's freaking driving around a brand new Lexus as a photographer, sponsored. What does that got to do with taking photography? Well, everything if you're Lexus. So he's
particularly brand.
Because
if it's associated with that lifestyle brand, that also is similar to Lexus, I guess.
He's a venture photographer. He takes pictures of snow and seals.
And he warms up in a Lexus.
Right? It's cool stuff.
I didn't know he got Lexus. Wow.
He has a new book out too, by the way. Daniel Fox.
What a nice man.
Gear 30 segment. Gear 30. What is happening in all the gear right now? Well, Yeezy shoes are happening. Are you down with the Yeezy shoes?
I don't know what Yeezy is. I thought he's a rapper.
Yeezy, yeah.
A musician.
Yeah.
Is it his shoes?
Kim Kardashian proves that Yeezy, great shoes for supping. Oh gosh, dang it. I got to open this on Instagram.
Does Kanye have a brand of shoes?
Yeah, it's a big deal. Okay, I don't know if you can see these white things she's got on the bottom of her feet. These are the Yeezys. Yeah, now there's going to be a close-up picture here. Okay, you see those things? Yeah, those are actual shoes. I don't even know how to describe them other than, what was that film? famous film. Oh gosh, I can't remember the film where it's like from the late 90s, I think. So they go in the ocean, and the famous director, I think he did Titanic. So they go in the ocean, and they go to the submarine sinks in the bottom of the sea, and then they go to the bottom of the sea, and then there's like the underground aliens that live down there, and it comes to the top. Do you remember that? What's that called? It looks like the ship that the aliens are in. That's what these shoes look like. What the hell's the name of that
Abyss?
film? Oh, The Abyss. The Abyss. Good job.
Good.
Excellent, because that was a terrible description. So for those of you who got that, nice work. The Abyss. Remember, so look at these shoes. Doesn't that look like it reaches the surface? It's like funky, weird, smooth lines, but
are they
bubbles
athletic shoes? Are they made for looks or use?
It looks rubbery like Crocs, only basketball sized.
Do you throw
with
them
holes
away if they get a speck of dirt on
No,
them?
they're probably $1,000.
That's
I don't
what I'm
know.
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're so bright white that they can't possibly get used.
Well, the
Kardashians
are using them just fine.
Yeah, but also the disposable. You use them once, and then I don't know what to do with them afterwards.
You got to spray them off with the garden hose, and
you're gonna carry Yeezy shoes.
The Yeezys. Oh, why not? Let's carry the Yeezys. I think we'll put them right next to our white New Balance lawn mowing shoes. It'll be a little section, Let's have those ready to roll.
One's like $80 and one's $1,000.
One's $1,500. Yep. You choose. You come in. Both perform about the same.
Everyman shoes. They're everyman shoes. They're relatable.
Yep. Speaking of actually the Everman, Low Alpine, the brand that started in Ogden's backyard, and then got sold God knows how many times, found another new home, and this is actually good news. Their packs, they've teamed up with, so the owner of Rab is also the owner now of Low Alpine, and Rab.com has now you can now shop low alpine packs on the Rab site. So Rab, it'll say like backpacks or whatever. You click on that and it says low alpine. So as of August 20th, low alpine products will be available on the Rab website, utilizing two of the most well-known and respected brands in all the outdoor industry. For our community, this means an even better brand experience full of inspiration and value, as well as more innovative and complementary product solutions, because Rab doesn't make packs. So they integrated the low alpine packs onto their website. So pretty cool.
How long has Rab been around? Less than low?
Okay, so Rab and low alpine combines pioneering and revolutionizing pack design with expertise in crafting. Created by passionate mountaineers in 1981 and 1967, respectively, Rab and low alpine. Rab 81, low 67.
Okay, so they do have a little bit of... So low seems old school. Like
both Rab Carrington and the Low brothers strive to produce the best and most innovative equipment in the world to keep you protected and comfortable in any condition.
I love that brand's still rocking it.
Still doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like a good pairing.
That's all I got. Oh, by the way, if you haven't heard yet, Gear 30 will have Patagonia this fall, Bluntstone this fall, Bluntstone boots, and Stanley products, Stanley PMI products. So those are the big three that we have never carried before that we are bringing in. We're getting rid of Norona. Norona didn't sell very well. It's a phenomenal brand. In Europe, it's like the Arc'teryx of Europe. Like, people just absolutely love that brand. I love the logo. It's got the little, like the Viking logo, you know. Their product, I mean, people could, you could argue all day long that it's better than anything else on the market, but it just didn't sell well here. So bringing in Patagonia and discontinuing Norona and cutting way down next to nothing is Arc'teryx, because why? You can get it all over here at the shop across the street.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so don't need to carry that anymore. We will still have a strong showing of Outdoor Research, Rab, the North Face, and then we'll have Patagonia. Cool. So that'll round it up. What we're doing there, the old Gear 30. Also, Gear 30 has a daily podcast. If you haven't heard, go check out the Gear 30 Daily Gear Podcast.
What's the name of the podcast?
Gear 30 Podcast. Gear 30.
Gear 30.
Yeah, there's two of them, by the way. If they're talking about skis like in every episode, that's not us. That's the ski one. I don't even know. But yeah, there's actually two.
There's another podcast called Gear 30?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. They started like a year ago or something, and it was yeah.
Huh.
Totally ripped, the name, the spelling, everything's ripped off. But I say ripped off, they probably had no idea we were out there. They just did it. And then, but ours dates back to when we first started doing like the feed. If you see it, it goes like heavy in the last year. And then there's like a 5 or 6 year gap. And then there's a ton of podcasts from, we were doing the Gear 30 podcast years ago.
Right.
Years ago. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Quote of the week: the best way out is through. Robert Frost. How apt is that, dear COVID, for the love of God? The best way out is through. Robert Frost. Thank you, Banyan One, for powering today's 359th episode of the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, thebanyancollector.com. Spotify is making a plug, man. They're hiring all the people. Joe Rogan, millions and millions of dollars. Spotify.
How can they afford anyone else?
I don't know. How are they going to sign us? Like, freaking Joe took all the money.
That's exactly my thought. He's getting all of it. Yeah.
All show notes and links are available at thebanyancollector.com. DM us on Instagram at Ogden Adventure.
DM, which means
direct message.
Got it.
Direct message. I love that you asked that question, though.
I think I knew DM.
Yeah. So if you haven't DM'd Todd recently, I think you should slide it in there. Just slide in.
Start with just once a day.
Just
or maybe once every 3 or 4 days, because it's been a long time since I've been DM'd.
Sifting through hours of crappy music so you don't have to. This is Cold Feet from Loud Luxury. John Muir would say, the mountains are calling and we must go.
Let's go.